Right. Hello everyone, this is Kieran Patil, and today I'll be explaining the first experiment of data structure laboratory. And the aim of this experiment is to design, develop, and implement a many-driven program in C for the following array operations. The first one is creating an array of n integers. The next one is to display the array elements with suitable headings. The third one, inserting an element at a given valid position. Then we have deleting an element at a given valid position, and then there is an exit. Now, how do we develop this program? Now, for that, we need to learn some basics of array. As you all know, presuming that all of you know what array is nothing but the collection of similar or the same data elements. In this experiment, the array can be represented as a single dimensional element, as you can uh, experience throughout the program here. So we are not using any multi-dimensional array elements. It's a simple one-dimensional array elements. Menu-driven program in C language to perform various array operations are implemented with the help of user-defined functions such as create, display, insert, del, that stands for delete, and then exit. The create function is used to create the array, and the display function is to display the array contents. And then we have insert function, which is used to insert a particular element at some specified positions. We also have delete function, which is used to delete the element at some specific position. And then there is the exit function, which exits the control from the program itself. Now, coming to the algorithm of the program, we have a simple algorithm. Step 1 is to start. Step 2 is to read n value. N value is nothing but we are defining the size of the array. Step 3 is read the array of n integer elements. That means to create an array of some specific number of elements. Then the fourth one is to print the array of n integer elements. So whatever the array that we have created, it needs to be displayed. Then we have the fifth step, which is to insert an element at a given specific position. At some specified position, I must be able to insert a particular element. Step 6 is to delete an element from a specific position. And then there is a stop. Now coming to the program code. Now folks, whenever you're analyzing any of the program, remember one thing. The program has to be analyzed from the main program, from the main function, sorry. Okay, so any analysis of any program has to start with the main function. Alright, so we'll see that. But before that, some of the basics which you have already learned. Now these are the header files. Okay, you know the importance of these header files, and these are your global variable declarations. Global variables. Now, what is the difference between the local variable and a global variable? Now, a global variable is applicable or has a life for all the functions that are defined in a particular program. Whereas local variables are the variables which have life only for the function in which it is being defined. Okay, now these variables are relevant to all the functions that we come across in this particular program. Alright, so let us start with the analysis of this program. Now, we start, as I said, any analysis of any of the program has to start with the main program. Now here we have declared a variable ch. Now this acts as a local variable and it is only relevant to the main function. Then we have the CLR function, which is used, as we all know, is used to clear the screen, the output screen. Now we are using a do while loop. Now the interesting thing about a do while loop is that it executes at least one time, even if the choice uh, is irrelevant, is false. Even if the condition is false, it still executes for one time. Okay. Now, so once we enter this do while loop, we have a printf function. All of you know printf function is used to display whatever is written inside those double quotes onto the output screen. Then followed by it, we again have the next printf function. It also displays the content written inside those double quotes. Now, these \n is nothing but it is a new line character. That means once a create is displayed, then below it in the next line you have display, then you have insert, then there is delete, and then there is exit. Alright, then again there is a printf function which just displays these broken lines. Okay, so you'll experience this in the output of your program. Okay, then we have another display function or a printf function which says enter your choice. Okay, so first let me show you the sample output here. Now this is how it gets displayed on the output screen. Okay, this is how the output screen will look like once you execute your program. Okay, so once you execute your program, this is what you get, and the choice that you enter. Okay, so yeah, so once the choice is entered, okay, now it is being read in this particular variable, that is ch. Okay, and then depending on what value you have selected or you have inserted or you have inputted into the program, okay, using the switch statement, okay, it activates the case number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. If your choice is out of these choices, then you will be displayed with a message which says invalid choice. Alright, with that, let us trace the output of this program. Alright, so the enter your choice, the first choice that the user has entered here is number 1. Okay, so 1 is being entered, that makes ch is equal to 1. So this will make switch 1, right? So it is switch ch now becomes switch 1. That means case 1 is activated. Now the first statement for case 1 is create function. Now how do you differentiate between a normal statement or a function statement is with these parentheses, you can see, right? With these parentheses. If you have a parenthesis, that means it's a function. So a function call happens here. Once the function is called, the control is transferred to the function definition. Now here you can see the create function definition. Now all these statements together forms the definition of this create function. Alright, so once this is activated or once the control is transferred to this function, it executes it. Yeah. So it executes the first statement. So what is the first statement here? First statement is nothing but a printf statement. Okay, so it asks the user, or it provokes the user to enter the size of the elements. Okay, now again let us run through the sample output here. What is the size that the user has entered here? So it is 5. Okay, so it is 5. He has entered the number 5. Alright, so once the user enters the number 5, that has to be read in a variable. Okay, now which variable is used to read the user input? In this case, it is the global variable n. Okay, so using the scanf statement, what we are doing is whatever the user has entered, that has to be stored in certain variable, and that variable in this case is n. Now n is equal to 5. Okay, now after that there is another printf statement which says enter the elements for the array. Okay, now this 5 acts as the size of the array. Now the program is asking you to enter the elements of the array. What happens? Now again running back to the sample output, here the user enters the elements as 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay, now what happens here? He has entered 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now these have to be recorded in an array. Okay, now these have to be recorded in an array. Now how is that done? It is done with the help of a for loop. So this loop starts with I is equal to 0, having a condition I less than n, and with an increment of I by 1. Okay, so it starts with 0, okay, having a condition less than 1, less than n, sorry, and then there is an increment of 1. So then the next statement that is followed with the for loop is a scanf statement. That means it is reading the elements now. Now where does the first element goes to? You can see you have this address of a of I. So what is the initial value of I? 0. So a of 0 is recorded with the element 20. Then I is incremented, I becomes 1. Now again a condition is checked. Is 1 less than n? What is the value of n? The value of n is 5. Okay, so condition satisfied. Again the scanf statement is executed, and now you have a of 1 is equal to 20. Okay, the next element 20 will go into a of 1, and so on and so forth. The for loop goes on repeating, and you have elements at a of 2, a of 3 and a of 4. Now remember folks, the subscript of an array doesn't start with 1, but it starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 is recorded with 50. Now once this is completed, again I gets incremented. Now this time I becomes, after the last recording, I becomes 5. Now again the condition is checked. Is 5 less than 5? Condition is wrong. Now once the condition is wrong, it comes out of the loop. It comes out of the loop. Okay, now this is how we create an array. Alright, now let us see. Now once we create this, Okay, so all the statements are executed, whatever the statements here, and then the control is again sent back to the place or to the position where it was called, where it was called. Now after that, you have this break statement. Now this break statement breaks the switch statement, comes out and ends the execution for the first output. Now let us see again, once the user again executes the program for the second time, again the same display gets displayed onto the output screen. Now let us see what the user choice is. Now he enters 2. Okay. Now he enters 2. So now what is the CH value? Now the CH value is 2. Now here it becomes switch 2. Now case 2 is activated. Now in case 2 you have a display function. Okay. Now from here the control is transferred to the function definition. Function definition. Now this is your display function definition. Display function definition. Alright, again there is a local variable here followed by a printf statement, a display statement, and then you're trying to display the array elements. How do you do that? Again, for that, what I'm doing is I'm using a for loop. Now here again it is the same condition as we have seen in the previous create function. It is the same. We start with 0, we stop less than n, and we increment at every completion of the loop. Now what we are doing here, we are displaying with this %d, sorry, with this %d, we are displaying the array elements. Okay, now %d is replaced with a of I. Now a of I, what is the value of I? 0, right? So what is a of 0? What is being stored in a of 0? 10. Okay, so 10 will be displayed. Now after that, as I've said, the basic operation of the for loop, it increments by 1. Okay, so now I is equal to 1, condition is checked. Is 1 less than 5? Because n value is 5. Okay, is 1 less than 5? True. So when it is true, again the next element is displayed. Now this time a of I is nothing but a of 1. What is a of 1? 20. 20 gets displayed. Similarly, this loop goes on repeating for a of 2, a of 3, a of 4. Okay. Now as I said, after this 4, again I gets incremented. Okay. And checks the condition if I is less than 5. This condition fails, and hence we do not have anything to display. Or we could say the condition fails, loop is exited. We exit from the loop. Okay. Now what is there in a of 2? As you can see, we have 30. Then a of 3 has 40. Then a of 4 has 50. Now this is what gets displayed onto your output screen. Clear? Alright. Now let us see. Alright, now you can see he has entered the choice 2. The array elements are, so it is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Exactly what we have seen. Okay, as I said, once the function completes its execution, the control is sent back to the calling function, and after that there is a break statement over there, and the break statement breaks the switch loop, and then we exit the program. This is this happens for every function that we have called, right? Okay. Now let us see the other executions. Okay. Now again, it's again the menu gets displayed. Okay, the user enters the choice. Now this time he enters the choice 3. Now, what is the value of ch now? The value of ch is 3. So now it is switch 3. Switch 3 means case 3 gets activated. Case 3 is the insert function. Okay. Now again, here a function call is made. So once the function call is made, the control is transferred to function definition. Now you can see this is the function definition. Okay. Now, what is the first statement here? It's a printf statement. And what does it say? Enter the position for the new element. Now this gets displayed onto the output screen. Now looking at the sample output, you can see you can see the user has entered choice 3, which is insert, and the enter the position for the new element, so the user has entered it as 2. Entered it as 2. Okay. Now, right. So that 2, the number that is entered by the user, which is 2, is now read in a variable position, POS. Right? Position, short form for position. What is the position? 2. What is the current status of the array? In A of 0 we have 10, we have 20 at A of 1, then we have 30, 40 and 50. Now what the user wants to do is he wants to add he wants to add something. Okay, we are not clear. He wants to add where at this position, which is A of 2. This is A of 2. That means now this 30 has to shift to its right, which is A of 3. Now 40 has to switch to its right, which is 50, and then 50 has to occupy a new position, which is an empty position defined by A of 5. Okay, because since we are adding one extra element, okay, initially the size of the array was 5. Now since we are adding an extra element, it becomes 6. The size of the element becomes 6. Array becomes 6. Now let us see. What he wants to enter. Okay. Now the next statement is enter the element to be inserted. What he wants to enter? He wants to enter 90. He wants to enter number 90 at the position 2. At the position 2. At the position 2. Now after the insertion of the new element 90 at the position 2, our newly transformed array looks something like this: 10, 20, 90, 30, 40, 50. Okay, now this is not that easy. Okay, now that 90, whatever is entered, which is number 90, has to be read in a variable element, ELEM, element. Now element is 90. Okay, now since we have to shift some of the elements to their right position, we again use a for loop. Now here in the for loop, what we are doing is we start I from I n minus 1. Then there is a condition I should be greater than or equal to position. Then I minus minus. Understand? Okay. Now we start, right? I is equal to n minus 1. What is the current value of n? 5. Okay. 5 minus 1, 4. Now 4, is it greater or equal to position? What is the value of position? 2. Right. 4 is greater than 2. That means the condition is satisfied. Now once the condition is satisfied, this statement is executed. Okay, so which says a of I plus 1 is equal to a of I. So what is a of I? What is the value of I? A of, what is the value of I? A of 4. A of 4 is equal to a of I. Sorry, so 4 plus 1, sorry. Okay, so 4 plus 1 is equal to a of 4. That means a of 4 plus 1, 4 plus 1 is 5. So a of 5 is equal to a of 4. That means a of 5 is equal to a of 4. Okay, so before inserting this this new element 90, what element has occupied a of 4? 50. So a of 5 now becomes 50 as we wanted. Right. Now again, the loop gets decremented from 4. Okay, I was 4, right? So from 4, it gets decremented by 1, becomes 3. Again, a condition is checked whether 3 greater than or equal to 2. 3 is certainly greater than 2. Condition is satisfied. Condition is satisfied. Again, the statement is executed. A of I plus 1, that is a of 4, is equal to, that is 3 plus 1, 4, is equal to a of 3. So what is a of 3 before adding the element? 40. So now what is a of 4? 40. Okay. Again I gets incremented. Okay. Now from I3 it gets reduced to 2. 2 greater than or equal to 2. 2 is equal to 2. Condition is satisfied. Once again we execute this statement, that is a of 3 is equal to, that is 2 plus 1, 3 is equal to a of 2. Now what is a of 2 before adding the element? 30. Now that shift towards right, that is a of 3 becomes 30. Understand? Again I gets decremented from 2, it becomes 1. Condition is checked whether 1 is greater than or equal to 2. Condition is false. Loop is exited. And then we have a statement which says a position is equal to ELEM. That means what is the value of POS? It is 2 and ELEM is 90. So now A of 2 is equal to 90. Okay. Now after that what we do? We are incrementing the value of n. That is, n was previously 5, incremented by 1 becomes 6. Okay. Now remember, a of 1 was never touched, and hence a of 1 remains 10. Remains 10. Okay. Now, sorry, a of 1 is 20, and a of 0, the first element, is 10. That means 10 and 20 elements were never touched when we were inserting and 90 at the position 2. Alright, now Let's go to the sample output. Now we have inserted this 90 at the position 2. Now what does the user enters again? The user now enters again choice number 2, which is display. I've already explained the display function, so I won't be explaining this time. Okay, so it displays whatever the array contents are: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, now you can also see here, okay, it just displays the elements that are stored over here. Okay, so it first displays a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, a of 4, and then a of 5, 10, 20, 90, 30, 40, and 50. This is what gets displayed. Alright, now let us look at the another instance. Alright, so this time the user enters the choice number 4. So that makes ch value is now changed to 4. So it is switch 4. That means case 4 is activated, and in case 4 we have a function del, which is a delete function. Now from this calling function, the control is transferred to the function definition of del. Now this is the function definition of del, that is delete function. Alright, so what does it do? I mean, what does it provokes the user to enter? So the first display statement would be enter the position of the element to be deleted. Okay, so basically from which position do you want to delete the element? Okay, now let us see what the user has entered here. Alright, so he enters the position 5. That means he wants to delete the element at the position a of 5. At the position a of 5. Okay, and that number 5 is recorded in a variable position POS. Now POS is equal to 5. Okay. Now ELEM is equal to A of POS. Now we know that POS is 5. So A of 5. So what is A of 5? A of 5 is 50. So ELEM is nothing but 50. But now let me write a newly formed array here: 10, 20, 30. It's not 30, 90, 30, 40, and 50. So it is at position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now what does user intends to do? The user intends to delete this element. Okay, element at position 5. Now once this element is deleted, okay, I should be able to have only this array to be displayed. Okay, the remaining array has to be displayed. For example, now suppose instead of this position number 5, let us say user wanted to delete the element at position number 4. Okay, so when he wants to delete the element at the position number 4, he has to delete it first and then has to shift this element which is at position 5 to position 4. Now that's being defined over here in the for loop statement. Now here we start with I is equal to position I less than n minus 1, I plus plus. Okay, so basically when an element is deleted, especially when the element that is in between the array list, if it is deleted, then the elements that are to its right, like here if it is 30, the element towards its right are 40 and 50. Now those elements have to be transferred to the left position. That's the logic. Okay. Now we start with position. I is equal to I is equal to position, and then we check if I is less than n minus 1, and then we increment for every loop iteration. Now, what is the position value here? It is 5. I is equal to 5 because user intends to delete the element at position number 5. So I value becomes 5. Now if phi is less than, what is the value of n? Value of n is 6. 6 minus 1. So 5 less than 5. Is the condition good? No. Condition is false. So when the condition is false, the control exits the loop and executes the next statement. What is the next statement here? N is equal to n minus 1. That means the current value of n is 6. 6 minus 1 becomes n is equal to 5. That means what we are doing is, from a list of 6 elements, I am deleting one of the element, so the remaining element are nothing but 5 elements. Okay, so I'm just changing the size of the array here. Okay, now this statement, what it does is, the next statement, which is the display statement, the printf statement, it displays the element that is being deleted. Okay, because the user wants to know which element was there at a of 5. Okay, so it displays it with %d. Now this %d is replaced with the variable elem, that means the number that is there in element. Okay, so what is the number that is present in element? It is 50. So you will have a message stating that the deleted element is equal to 50. You can see in the sample output here. Okay, so the deleted element is 50. Again, okay, the control comes back to the calling function. There is a break statement, breaks the switch, and then the program is exited, or the program ends, the execution ends over there. And then again, once again, when you re-execute the program, again the same menu is displayed. Now this time the user enters 2. 2 is nothing but the display function. Already I've explained how the display function works. So whatever the remaining elements of the array they are being displayed onto the screen. Okay. Now once that is done, okay, I've removed 50, so you'll have only 10, 20, 90, 30, and 40. Again, when I re-execute the program, I have entered, this time the user have entered the option number 5. So now ch value is 5. Okay, so switch to 5. So switch to 5, that means case 5 has to be activated, and case 5 has a statement which says exit 0. That means what? It exits the loop. It exits the loop and it ends the program. Alright, so this is how the array works. These are some of the operations that we can have on an array. Okay, right, hopefully you have understood. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.